Hey traders, Nick here again, Sunday night, doing a sector review just in case you need it by ETF. I'm going to hit most of them, not all of them. I'll start with the XLE because we just traded it. I went long and it paid immediately. So from that perspective, I was in and out. What was that called? Yes, tactical. You got it. So now they're going up against 86. If they can break out of 86, they can get to 88. And then if you take 88 out after a little bit of struggle, you can get to 90. For me, easy gains. I take it and run, especially in something like the XLE. It has not been friendly to pops. It pops, it drops, and makes a lower low. It pops, it drops, and makes a lower low. Don't trust it. I'm in and out. Thank you. I will move on. XLF. This is banks, basically. And so believe it or not, the biggest one in there is not a bank. That would be Berkshire Hathaway, BRK.B. So let's say they dip and they curl after filling the weakness. They come back and break out. That will be the path. So you have a catalyst after a small dip, or if they take out, like the S&P, they can take out the resistance at 36, 35.7 and go there without a dip. Either way, I prefer buying it on a dip. And also, it's about the same strategy as the SPY could take in order to break out. Small dip, curl, and bust out. All right, so that is two. Let's go to the XLI, the industrials. They too are also on a tear. Let's see here. The last rally ended here, small dip, and finished another leg higher. So let's say they wanted to do that. And so let's go like this. Let's say it mimics the last rally. What about that? That could be it. If not, they dip here a little bit, and then I think the dip would be buyable. We're long a few things like Caterpillar on a credit put spread. We went long Boeing, but then we shorted Boeing with a credit call spread, and that's not going so well right now. But the trade is still balanced. This is a potential path for this guy. I want you to pay attention to the SMH because it's all about NVIDIA, and the SMH technically broke out last week. So stock went from here to here, consolidated, flag, whatever pennant you want to call it, and then it broke out from that. And from the time before it, in theory, this should go to 176. So the next dip I would buy, I think, without a disaster in NVIDIA, let's say NVIDIA says, oh my gosh, we're going to drop 5 or 10% and this one falls down to here. I think it's a buyable dip because they might come back up here. Whether they take this out and go to 180 or not, it doesn't matter. I'm a buy the dip guy into level 1 here, which is 139.50, and level 2 here, actually a little bit higher than here, which is 128, rounding, 129, 128. I'd want to be in it or looking at it. And of course, if it comes down to 116, I'm in it for sure. All right, so that's the SMH. There are other ETFs that would be like that. XLB, the materials, I think it had as much as it wants to have. I think a dip to 78 would make more sense than say a trip to 83. So a dip to here instead of a trip to here would be better. I wouldn't short it though. They have momentum on their side. Okay, XLC, like the SMH, is in a breakout. I wouldn't short it. It's probably going to 76, if not more. If you look left, oh boy, if it does get to 76, I would exit into that candle, whatever that was back there. Whew. All right, so that is XLC. XLY, the discretionary, is just like the one prior to this one, the one before that. So it's going into two prior fails, and it's rallied quite a bit. So almost like the SPY. It would make sense for it to stall a little bit, establish a better base around 160 to come back and tackle these two peaks at 175 and 177.50. Take out 177.50, you probably go to 195. So it's okay to be long as you can withstand dips here. Now I stayed on a one-day chart. It's easier said than done. When I look at the daily, it's like, oh, it's so close, it's going to break out. Let's zoom in. You have seller at 169.5, seller at 170, seller at 172, and the seller at 175 and change. Okay, so it's not very easy. Dips into 162 should be bought. Inverse head and shoulders type of a neckline that I was looking for on the SPY. technically 174 is the target after the dip. So if you're long, I don't blame you. Just make sure you're tactically wrong and don't forget to lock your profits somehow. Selling calls or booking some. All right, so let's look at the XLV, XBI, whichever. They're stalled at a level that makes sense. 129, 129.50, 130 should be big levels. They should not be easy to take out. So a small dip into 127, 126.5 would be viable to see if they can curl back up and take it out. XBI, closer to breakout, higher lows, curled. They haven't made higher highs. This poke was a teaser, so take it out. If this week they come out of 73.40, 73.50, I think they can get to 76. I got out of my longs on the dip. I said we will go with a credit put spread. If somebody added calls, it's okay. Because here, look, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold. The only difference this time made a higher low and a higher high, kinda, and a higher low. So if this week they take out 73.30, 40, that's a higher high. So that we have higher lows, 3 of them, and 2 and a third higher high. Then we have an ascending channel. Has a better chance at surviving or sustaining this rally a little bit longer. Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. You get the idea. We're making progress. We have problems to deal with, but once we deal with the problems, some already, like the SMH, have already dealt with the problem, and the XLC, they're in a breakout. Others, like this one, showing progress. Some are going to be stuck. So make sure you don't chase blindly each individual sector. Oh, the XLU. The XLU is sensitive to interest rate hikes, not interest rate hikes. So it's sensitive to the TLT moves and the TBT and the TNX and all of that. Higher lows knocking on a roof. If the XLU gets out of 62.80, it's probably going to 65, if not 67, with a lot of sellers in between. Higher lows, higher highs. You see that? Like this is what the one just before it is trying to build. I said if we get one higher high, then it would be confirmation that we have buy the dip inside of an ascending channel. So this one, so look at these tails. Oh boy, nice fight right here. All right.